Well, I guess the smart diploma, what strikes me is that it's attacking a very old formulation. A diploma is something that has existed for centuries, and it always had this very ancient, antiquated format. I mean, even now, business school, 2011, 2012, we're still giving out these old parchment-like documents that are totally insane. They're difficult to photocopy. They're impossible to scan. They really make no sense except if you're going to put them into a frame on your wall, right? It sounded like this is so passé, this is so antiquated. Can we do something a little bit more modern? And effectively doing this send a signal that we're trying to stay up with technology. We've moved all the students to iPads. It's fantastic. Then at the end of the program, you give them a diploma on some kind of antiquated paper. And to me, there's a little bit of disconnect. And the smart diploma was maybe a way of moving the diploma component to the same level of technology development as the rest of the program. One of my first criteria when I get involved with any kind of entrepreneurial team is how willing are they to open up. And it's always a very telling feature whether they are ready to give you everything about it, or if somehow they feel like things have to be kept secret. When they have to be kept secret, there is trouble looming. In the case of CVTrust, what was extremely rewarding is the fact that they immediately opened up, gave me absolutely everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, the things they were still questioning, the things that were not clear, the early attempts, the early failures, and it was great material from which to build. They were in a learning mode. They were very keen to listen to people that could be using the solution and work with them to define the product, which is again a very nice attitude, which you don't find too often in startups. My first recommendation was, let's expose it to people who might have ideas about what this could do for them. And the first group that came to my mind was actually the MBA class here at IMD, because they're all going to be on the market very soon. They're all going to be confronting recruiters. So let's see if maybe we can get some ideas out of them as to whether they would use it, whether it makes sense, or maybe a more strategic point of view. Why would companies adopt this system? And then the back of my mind, there was obviously the idea that, hey, hold on a minute, this is something we could benefit from. In particular, when you put it into its smart diploma iteration. We are producers of diplomas, or participants would probably like to have some form of electronic diploma that is kind of self-validating. The value, it sounded like it had a great basis, in fact, that it is difficult and time-consuming, expensive to validate elements of CVs, and that somehow CVTrust would be able to automate or facilitate that checking if you were a recruiter. So it sounded like it had a relatively valid basis.